Greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in, come on in. As you come in, if you could just kindly tap the like button and the share button and make sure all of your notifications are in or set on all so you can get notified when I go live. I want to greet you and say I hope everybody has had a great day and a productive day, a peaceful day, a blessed day. And yeah, we're going to be talking about an interesting topic and a much needed topic that really should be discussed, in my opinion. And because it doesn't just influence one group of people, it actually influences the entire family, depending on the consumption of the kind of music that is made available to us and particularly our children. When we can understand why the music resonates on the level of vibration that it does, and once we understand fully the purpose behind it and how calculated and intentional and very, very researched and specific this music is before it is released to the masses, the money that is invested, then we will have some understanding on what kind of decisions we should make that would serve the best interest of our family and ourselves, and last but not least, our children. There is a total purpose in the hip hop community, in my opinion, to indoctrinate and to control the temperament or lack thereof of our people as a culture, to get them to respond without thinking, to get them to be reckless. There's a lot going on with this music, and music that years ago would not have been played on the radio airwaves, much less become so readily available to our children through social media outlets and platforms. There would have been an uprising. There would have been objection. There would have been some type of pushback. And they've been so calculated and so specific that now it's the norm. It's the norm. And we don't have anybody to blame but ourselves for allowing this to take place and get to this point where we feel subjected and basically victim to the type of music and all of the components that surround the release and the perpetuation of this music for the desired outcome. And as it is always said, follow the money. Just follow the money. And you'll get a lot of the answers of questions you didn't even know you had at the time. So I'm going to go ahead and start. There are some videos that I'm referencing certain small clips out of. All of the name of the videos, as well as the links and the podcaster information, is in the description of this video. And feel free to go at any time and check out the entire videos. They're very informative and very descriptive and very telling on where we are and how we got here and what was the intended purpose of us getting to this point. So the first video is called The Deadly Influence of Rap Music. And this video will actually outline immediately the deception that comes from the rappers and the difference, such a difference in lifestyles compared to how their lives are operating on a day-to-day basis, the decisions that they make and the messages that they're sending to the public and to our children. And so we're just going to go ahead and get right into it.
You don't actually smoke.
Right.
Do you always lie in your songs?
Well, I was high all the time, but everybody else was smoking around me.
Is it true that you once asked Snoop Dogg to stop smoking on set?
Yeah. He said, "Let me alone, 50. This is legal."
So it didn't work.
No, I asked him to chill, but he gonna do what he gonna do. He gonna smoke anyway.
Do you think there's anyone who smokes more than Snoop?
Wiz Khalifa, maybe?
He's telling the truth. In your song In the Club, you write, "You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub." Is the bottle actually full of bub?
When it first opened, yeah.
Is it not full of ginger ale?
You know, I filled champagne bottles with ginger ale.
So technically that song is also a lie. Are there any other tracks you lied in?
Yeah, there's points that you say things.
Wow, rap.
Okay, so he puts ginger ale inside of champagne bottles in his video sets. He doesn't smoke directly. He claims that the message that he sends through his music when he talks about being high is from contact. And I don't listen to his music like that, but I would probably bet a sizable amount of money that he does not specify that in any of his music. So you have one of the most influential and impactful rappers telling you out of his own mouth that the message and the messages that he is sending through his music and has sent through his music does not match the way that he operates his life and the decisions that he makes on a day-to-day basis.
An image. Here is Rick Ross. No, not this Rick Ross. This is Rick Ross. This guy was the original Rick Ross, whom Rick Ross the rapper had stolen his name from. It was the 90s, and crack was flooding the streets of the United States. A man known as Freeway Ricky was a crack dealer at the time, supplying all these crack junkies with their necessities. But a man named William, known now as Rick Ross, he wanted to be feared. He wanted people to see him as the boss in his music. So he would take the name of the drug dealer Freeway Rick and rap about the lifestyle of Freeway Rick, when in reality, he himself was not doing everything he was rapping about.
Definitely, I got on the name like 10 years ago when it wasn't about that. It was about what I was going to turn it into.
Since Rick Ross just admitted.
So I want to take this moment to say shout out to Tunde for this video and how well it was put together to convey the message of basically showing the hypocrisy and the contradiction from the behavior of the actual artist in comparison to the messages that they're sending through the music, which solidifies for me right off the bat that there is an agenda. So I'm not going to play very much more of this video, but I did want to just actually use this video as a stamp or a point of reference to show that these rappers, and it's not just this genre of music, but it is definitely focused and honed in, particularly in hip hop, because it's more detrimental. And there's, to me, the most money in the music out of the genres of music that has been made and perpetuating a whole bunch of false narratives. And I say false narratives, in my opinion, because, like I said, the messages that they're rapping and sending to the masses worldwide don't reflect and match their personal lives. So there is a little more information that I think would benefit, and I thought was interesting to share.
In the 90s, this same Rick Ross that makes these types of music, he himself was a cop. And when he was asked if he was a correctional officer, you would have thought he was a politician the way he dodged the questions.
Rick Ross done did it all to get money. I done did it all except set dudes up, put dudes behind bars, and that's what's important to me. And whenever I read a blog or if I came to radio stations, that me being a CEO never been a pressure question for me. Because if I could go back to the hood and sell 50 of them things, I could go sell 50 CDs. So that ain't no pressure at all. So I just wanted to put it in perspective, respect my homies that's involved. You understand? And when certain things come up, Ross don't address that. And that's what I'm gonna respect, you know what I mean?
Even
so he wants respect for the way that he delivers his music and his message. But no, he doesn't want anybody to say anything to him about his past, about the messages that he delivers, the impact, his reach. If it doesn't complement or fall soft upon his ears. Now, I call that hypocrisy in my personal opinion. So I just want to show what he has been able to accomplish monetarily and make certain investments with, not off of his correctional officer, being a correctional officer past and tenure in that classification, but as a rapper that is sending messages to any ears that are open to listen and influence and impact how people move and behave in their lives.
case here. We all know Rick Ross is a very smart man. He owns multiple franchises of the famous Wingstop. He owns a champagne line called Bel Air, and he has made a fortune in the rap industry. This just goes to show you that not everything really is as it seems in the rap industry. Just like
So you can't accomplish such goals and accumulate such wealth being strung out on drugs, being out of your mind. The messages that you're sending and that you are exhibiting to the masses and to the people that your audience, that has made you filthy rich enough to the point where you have a whole string as a result of that money, other investments where you have accumulated such generational wealth that probably for several generations to come, your loved ones won't have to be concerned about finances or money. Which again, to me, shows that they don't line up. The messages along with your lifestyle your particular lifestyle don't match up. So that's point number one. Then we're going to go to talk about hip hop and how, in one person's opinion, it has destroyed the Black community based off his own personal testimony. And it's a short and brief excerpt, but in my opinion, it's powerful. This podcast is called On the Shoulders of Giants, and the name of the video is Hip Hop Destroyed the Black Community, a breakdown of hip hop music and culture. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. I want to share the screen on that one.
Today, our topic is going to be related to a cultural issue that I think is misrepresented. And maybe some people don't understand the totality of the effect of it, but I'm going to address that right here. So the topic is going to be about rap music, explicitly the gangster rap music, the rap music that's infiltrated with cursing, drug dealing, the degradation of women, you name it. You know, I think that culture, that hip hop culture, has definitely influenced our young people, and it has been a true detriment to society.
So I want to reemphasize fair use, fair use. These videos are for educational and entertainment purposes only, and just trying to educate people on the impact that rap music has had and is having as an negative connotation on the culture.
And I'm not just saying this because it's something I read in a book. I'm saying this because I have personal knowledge of this. I have personal experiences that have gotten me to this conclusion of believing that this is not good for our children, and hip hop music is killing us. Literally. I'm not even saying no pun intended. Literally, hip hop music is influencing young people to kill each other, young people to treat women with disrespect, young people to act outside character and to be enraged and to hate other people. This is exactly what's happening to young people. So I'm explaining in a few different topics. So the first topic is just my own personal experience. You know, I grew up listening to rap music. Almost every single genre that I listened to had something to do with rap, had something to do with explicit gangster rap. And it influenced and it impacted my mind so much so, to believe it or not, people don't even believe me when I say this. This is a part of my testimony, is that I used to sag my pants. I had gold teeth in my mouth, and I got Young Savage tattooed on my stomach right here.
Well, if that's not impact, I don't know what is. So I don't know this gentleman, but looking at him on this video does not strike me as somebody that at one point was influenced enough by a genre of music to where he altered his entire appearance with gold teeth, sagging pants, as well as a permanent tattoo across his stomach of another man's name that he looked up to and admired as a rapper. That is powerful and it's sad, but it's the truth that we live in. And this, he looks to be approaching middle-aged. And so this had to be some years ago. And look how music has evolved and how much more powerful it has become today. We can't ignore that. We can't sidestep that as if it's going to work itself out. It's not. So, again, this link is also, if you want to go check out the whole video, or it's actually a really good dialogue between the podcasters on here, and they give some really, really good information on rap music all the way from the 80s up until recently, and it covers a couple of different generations, so you get different perspectives and different testimonies and life's experiences from the rap music in those different decades. And they created a great dialogue and provided great information. So again, at your leisure, feel free to go check this video out. So that takes me to the part where I want to get off into exactly why this music is so powerful in a negative light, and to bring to light and to reveal how intentional and how very, very specific this plan has been and how efficiently it has worked up until this point. So the name of this video is by Wesley Muhammad, and the name of it's Kanye West and Dr. Wesley on the science of frequency and the weaponization of hip hop.
And then the algorithm, you know what I'm saying? The 808. The 808 exists in the lowest chakra of your body. The majority of content that's related to the 808 is killer or sexual content. The original 808s was even off pitch. So that meant it's an actual sound in the track that you don't realize is there that is up your entire frequency. Right. And now today, every time I hear a car come out, it's 808. But if you think about African music and hip hop and movies breakdance to, it was light. The percussion. It was upbeat. Right. It was the drums.
What's the signature of trap music? Beats, drum beats, them 808s. Produce low frequency sound. Its signature is low frequency sound in that 808 drum beat. The low frequency drum beat. And remember, how do shamans create altered state of consciousness? In indigenous cultures, it's the drum beat. The drum is the tool to drive one into altered states of consciousness. So,
okay, so I remember growing up in Florida, and there used to be in the culture of drug dealers and gangbangers, and they used to have what they called woofers and tweeters. And you could hear these woofers, this music, blocks away in one vehicle. They used to take their back seats out of the car to accommodate the size of these humongous speakers. And the vibration, sometimes you would be in your home and you could feel the vibration once it got close enough within the parameter of where you were. It was crazy. I never understood it. And I used to always wonder, are these people going to go deaf? Because it was just, even back then, this was like in the 70s, when the late 70s, when rap music first kind of was birthed, all the way until I would say at least the 90s, when things started to shift just a little bit. But it was long and strong. And those beats and the drums and the low sounding musical tones. I think I was probably maybe 12, 14 years ago when I realized and learned that this was low vibrational music. And Dr. Wesley is going to explain further and in great detail, and he does such a phenomenal job on the perfect vibrational level hertz that raises the vibration for positivity, for creativity, for all of the good and positive things as opposed to what he was just mentioning, him and Kanye saying that 808 was actually established as what they call the phantom hertz or the phantom sound, where they combine methodically different megahertz in each ear to create an 808 sound and vibration to lower it psychologically, mentally, and physically, to accept and to engage and to find attractive that particular low vibration in music by giving it a great beat and kind of convoluting or skewing the lyrics by speeding them up, by putting them in different rhythmic patterns aside from the music, by drowning them out, by giving hooks, by making them ambiguous so you really don't understand without separating the lyrics from the vibration and the music to really understand what the message of the music is. So this was perfectly constructed to make the beat more attractive so you can very easily disregard or minimize the impact of the lyrics of the music. Very crafty, extremely seductive, and slick, if you will. So now we're going to hear Dr. Wesley break down, and I'm doing this in clips, so fair use, YouTube, fair use, into where he talks about testosterone, cortisol, noradrenaline, and estrogen, and how all of these play a part in the creation of the music to lower the vibration, to make us impulsive and non-effective thinkers. So we react strictly off of emotion because of the construction of that particular song set at a particular vibration. And he's going to break this down as to exactly why violence and the connection with hip hop at this point is so connected, and it's just so obvious that it's alarming. It is absolutely alarming. Welcome, CX. Salute to you. Thank you for joining me. I know it's a late stream, but I had a real busy couple of days, but I wanted to get a live in. I definitely appreciate you joining and coming on in. And this is a really interesting topic. If this is in your lane, hopefully you can catch the replay from the beginning, because this is all this live will be systematically constructed to show everything from the facet of the rappers and their lifestyles not aligning with their message in their rap songs, to match the reach and the impact that they have worldwide, to breaking down exactly from a scientific perspective why this music is so powerful and why it yields such violence and such a negative outcome based off of who is listening. All right, so let me go here. I'm going to play.
Oh, the 808 machine, the signature of hip hop.
Right.
The drum beat, that most of the 808 beats are in low frequency. Trap music is 808, it resurrected 808 beats, because now the words are the command message.
Right. Right.
The hypnotic command message.
Back towards the weaponization of hip hop and music overall. Are there certain frequencies in music that can promote health and healing?
Absolutely.
And what are those frequencies?
So I often mention, when I mention testosterone, I mention serotonin.
Mhm.
I mention these two as the two biochemical sources of a man's drive for power. But serotonin, the brain chemical serotonin, is necessary for mental health for men and women. One reason women suffer from depression in numbers that men are.
Mhm.
One of the reasons is the disparity in brain serotonin. Serotonin promotes mental health.
Serotonin promotes mental health. So, what he's getting ready to describe is how the cortisol, the testosterone, the estrogen, and the serotonin all interact with each other based off of vibration of music, of the hertz, which is the level of vibration of the music.
10 hertz. So see, God can use Beats by Dre as well as Satan can. So say this song I'm grooving to.
Okay, that was, I couldn't just slide past that. So Beats by Dre, he stated something very powerful. God can use it and Satan can use it. So any of us that know anything about the Bible, we should know that Satan, according to the Bible and scripture, was one of the most beautifully sung, or the most beautifully sung angel in heaven. So he's very musically astute. When he was cast out of the heavens, according to scripture, and cast down to the earth in order to acquire dominion over the earth, what do you think he used in order to gain the masses and corrupt them and their spirits? It was music. So when he says that God can use the same exact music that Satan can use, absolutely correct.
230 hertz is beamed into my right headphone, 220 is beamed into my left. That my brain was synchronized to a phantom 10 hertz. And 10 hertz is precisely the frequency that stimulates the production of serotonin. The reason 4 hertz is a specific fear frequency, because 4 hertz stimulates serotonin's opposite, noradrenaline. Testosterone, the opposite of testosterone really is an estrogen. It's cortisol.
That's interesting. Cortisol. Cortisol is actually the stress hormone that neutralizes the effect of testosterone. He's going to break this down even further, but I wanted to slow that down because these aren't terms that most of us are used to hearing on a day-to-day basis. And so I know for me, it has taken me a few times to hear that and to read up on the definition of each of those terms to really understand the parts and the roles that each one of those plays and how they interact or block each other depending on what the desired outcome is.
Cortisol is the stress hormone that neutralizes the effect of testosterone. The opposite of serotonin is noradrenaline. 10 hertz is the magic frequency to stimulate the production of serotonin. The devil knows that. The devil knows how to stimulate good, healthy biochemistry with music. He also knows that 4 hertz stimulates the production of noradrenaline. And what's the difference between the two? It's important.
So 10 hertz promotes healing and health and good health. 4 hertz promotes just the opposite. Salute, CS. Salute. Thank you for coming in. We are talking about the detrimental effect of hip hop music and the correlation between vibrations and the megahertz and how the music is constructed and released to the masses, and how it interacts and why our culture has become so violent and so what is the word? Cognizant dissonance. They've become so detached from an emotional perspective or emotional intelligence, and they've become impulsive, but this music drives that. And so Dr. Wesley here in this video is just breaking down into very specific explanations as to how this came to be and how calculated and how specific and how intentional these people that run the music industry are controlling an entire culture of people. And this is not only alarming, but it also, for me, it shows and it displays exactly how serious they are about keeping people of color exactly in the position that as a whole we seem to be in. Salute Bolo. Hey, glad you can stop in. I figured you'd be up around this time of night. Usually you be live, but I've had a busy couple of days. So I say, well, I didn't want to wait till in the morning because as soon as I get up, something probably is going to require my attention. So I went on ahead and went live. So if you're just joining, please don't hesitate to go through the replay. It's definitely worth watching the entire video from the beginning to get the full concept and the full scope of different perspectives and different aspects of how we got to be here. And you can also adjust the playback speed. I know sometimes I get to talking a little slow, so you probably will understand me just perfectly if you speed it up just a little bit, along with saving some time. Just, a little tidbit to kind of get people through, because I don't want to, deter people from wanting to finish the stream based off of, I speak intentionally slow most of the time so people can absorb what I'm saying without me having to repeat myself over and over, unless it's just my method of speaking, right? So let's carry on.
Serotonin is one of the functions of serotonin is as a chemical lid on our passions. With a healthy dose or amount of brain serotonin, we are masters of our impulses rather than slaves of our impulses. We can control our passions, our appetites. Serotonin is necessary to put the brakes on our appetites. Noradrenaline, if serotonin puts the brakes on our appetites, noradrenaline pushes the accelerator. So
that right there, that's everything. That is it in a nutshell. Even though he gets even more specific and more descriptive, if you want to know why and how specific and detailed they are about this vibration and getting it exactly at 4 hertz, where at 10 hertz, it has the totally different and opposite effect. So the serotonin actually takes the impulse away, and it allows us to make judgment calls and to think things through and to apply the brake when necessary. When the noradrenaline, it does the exact opposite. And that noradrenaline is at activated by 4 hertz vibrational level music. The 10 hertz is actually with the cortisol, which allows us to make judgment calls, for us to pause before we make decisions that could change the trajectory of our lives, our families' lives. That is a huge contrast, chat. That is a huge contrast. It is literally night and day. And it is because of the psychological makeup, along with scientific research, where these people are decades, if not more, ahead of us. So by the time we figure this stuff out, the damage is already done. Welcome, Empress 13. Thank you for coming in. Salute to you. Appreciate you joining us. So we're talking, Dr. Wesley is speaking on the effects and the differences in the vibrational patterns of music, and how typically the drums in rap music are 4 hertz, which drive impulse and what is it? You don't pause. You just go head first. And whatever the messages and the lyrics of the music is saying in the background is being planted in the subconscious. So this is a double-edged sword here that we're talking about. We're not talking about just harmful lyrics. We're speaking also on the vibration where we would, without being educated or properly informed, we would think that the music was harmless. I know I did, and I have for many years growing up listening to rap music. The most egregious part about listening to rap, certain artists, was the lyrics, but not realizing that a lot of the music in the background was exactly the same. It was just, it had different rhythms, but the vibration was exactly the same. And they've been using this for years, right?
With high noradrenaline, it it puts the battery in all of our impulses, all of our passions. So low serotonin, high noradrenaline, we are an impulsive. I am an impulsive person. Mm-hmm. I'm unable to control my passions, and I act on all of my impulses. Right. 4 hertz. And so we are a very impulsive community. Mm-hmm. The community that is being low frequency vibrations from our music, the community that's been made an ecology of fear. And why an ecology of fear? Because most of us walk around not knowing what phantom 4 hertz in our brain. And so our noradrenaline is stimulated and it cuts off our serotonin. Mm-hmm. They can make sure they can stimulate enough.
So the vibration, the vibrational aptitude of a song can literally cut off our serotonin and activate noradrenaline to take away judgment, to take away hesitation, so we can have some pre-thought, and totally makes us impulsive. That is crazy to me. But that's when I tell you that these people are intentional and that we are in a war. We are in a spiritual war. We are way past physical. Now they've been controlling the minds of so many. And at this point, they are sending, and I want to just pause for a second and iterate how I'm waiting. I'm very involved in my son's schooling. I'm an advocate for him. I stay up in his business. All of the staff and teachers know me. I do pop-ups, all of that. I do all of that because in the region that I live in, it is not uncommon for These new rappers, the ones that's talking about booty hole pink or booty hole brown, and I don't know what they say because I don't listen to that foolishness, but I know that I hear KB talking about it. And they've been visiting high schools and middle schools. And then I saw Angie Stanton King. She went to that bar or that lounge, and they had transgender strippers there with kids. This is definitely something that we have to be aware of, we have to be cognizant of, and we have to be proactive with and reactive if necessary, because now it's not just attractive music to adults, but they're making sure, Little Nas X, they are putting it in front of the kids' faces and normalizing this behavior. So you do the visuals with the audio, with the low vibrational, with the lyrics, and you combine all of that together with an undeveloped, impressionable mind that is prime for indoctrination. What in the world do you think it's going to produce? I can answer that for you. Look at the generation that we are raising. KB, salute. Thank you for coming in. Yes, I'm telling you, this is 79 Latifa. Salute. Hello, hello. This is insane, but it is our reality, and we can change what we are informed about. We can impact, even if it just starts in our household and dealing with our children and making judgment calls. My son, he is a teenager, and I am still monitoring his music. He loves me. My whole family loves music. Music is probably the easiest way for us to be more impressionable and affected in that way, that we have to guard our minds, our spirits, and we have to, in order to do that, we have to know and realize that we are in war. And now that we're becoming aware of the weapons of this silent war and this spiritual war, now we have enough information to where we can move differently. So Miss Liza Jean, hold on, let me highlight you. Say, this is 2024, 8 and 8 is life, resonance between male and female to produce life. Amen. Amen to that. And the life that we produce, we have to protect. We have to guard with everything in us. It is our responsibilities as parents to do that for our children. We fail our children without protecting them and guiding them, right? So Bolo says, happy I ran away from that. What temperature? Oh, you not talking to me? Okay, Liza Jean, I'm sorry. I'm all up in the conversation. I'm in a zone right now. So, okay. So we're going to go through a little bit more of this video because it's so informative and he's so on point with it that I want to drive this point home, that this is calculative. This is so super specific, and there has been so many resources poured into them finding this information to be substantial enough to where it has impacted an entire group and race of people.
Now that's our serotonin by producing in us phantom 10 hertz frequencies, but our reality is proof that they have decided to stimulate in us or produce in us a phantom 4 hertz frequency, because every Black community or every hood from one end of America to the other is an ecology of fear. The urban air, the suburbs, they are ecologies of peace and flowers and health.
Right.
The urban area is an ecology of fear and stress. It's not an accident. It's by design. It's environmental terrorism.
Okay. Environmental terrorism is the word he used. I envision that in all caps. It has been nothing less, in my opinion. And I totally agree with him. Dr. Wesley drove this point home very well. And again, I encourage y'all to go. All of the video references that I am using are in the description along with the links of this video. Please, this one in particular, I think actually all of them are really good, but this one is so full of pertinent information that will transcend across not just specifically hip hop music, but I'm sure that it is used in other cultures as well, but it's centralized in the hip hop genre. And exactly, yes, Liza Jean, terrorism based on lies. Amen to that. You've never lied. So okay, I'm always one to present the other side to a coin. And we've been talking about the hypocrisy and the damage and the contradictions from the artists to the message in the music and the lyrics and the impact. As a whole culture, there is a lot of impressionable people that have followed the path of the music that has been laid before them and have ruined their entire lives. And it can be discouraging. But I also want to show that hip hop is not all lost. And it's the norm for, especially in the culture with Hollywood, in the music industry, there's a lot of corruption, a lot of lies, a lot of weapons and agendas that are in place. But just like in anything else, God provides balance. It's just not put on a grand scale, and it's not on the mainstream media and normalized to the masses as this culture of music that we currently are experiencing and so many people are celebrating. So this young gentleman I didn't know a lot about him, but I have really been delving into a lot of interviews with him to try to get to know a little bit about who he is, what his background is, and how he got to be who he is. But one thing I do know for sure is, in my opinion, he is chosen. And I definitely want to share with you a few clips because words matter. And this young man understands that. So again, his name is D1. He is from the younger generation, from my generation, but he is actually, to me, he's got an older soul and a mature soul. And so if you look at the emblem on his chest, that picture there, that is his deceased grandfather. That I don't know if he raised him or not, but that is what he called his pawpaw. His pawpaw goes with him wherever he goes. He has been such an influence on his life that this young man is who he is largely because God placed that man as his pawpaw. Okay, so no further ado, we're gonna listen to a couple of things that this brother's had to say. This video is speaking on gatekeepers because he refused to conform and to be sucked into selling his soul, for lack of a better term. Fair use, YouTube, fair use. These videos being displayed on this stream are strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only. So we're going to start out when we're talking about the gatekeepers. I'm not going to go from the very beginning, but you'll get the concept and the gist of his message.
Through maturity that wasn't of God. You feel? Is gatekeepers in the industry, and I'm knowing I'm overqualified for something, but I got somebody telling me I'm not good enough, or I'm not enough of this, or I'm not paying enough for that, da da da. I had to learn through maturity that wasn't of God. You feel me? And that's what you got to check. Do you have godly ambition, or do you have selfish ambition? And in this world, it's very easy to have selfish ambition, and that'll take you on a pathway to where you're going through all these gatekeepers who really ain't nobody in the big scheme of things. On the totem pole of people with integrity and people with morals, values, and principles, these gatekeepers ain't nobody. But
come on now. Ooh, I just got chills. I need for you. Oh my goodness. I need for y'all to feel this, brother. Gatekeepers really ain't nobody in the grand scheme of things, because there's a God that sits high and the enemy sits low, and the gatekeepers are not of God, right? And so no matter where you are in life and what route and journey you choose to take, if God is always at the helm of your ship, your opposition is nobody. Your opposition becomes powerless. And in the real world, they really are powerless. It is the illusion that is shown to us and sold to us through a bed of lies to where it becomes the truth. But this is why you have to seek understanding. You have to seek God's word. You have to seek high vibrational beings and souls that are like minds in order to be reminded how powerless the evil in this system and in this world that the evil has dominion over really is. Because God allows everything to happen at the end of the day. Nothing happens without his approval. Amen.
in this perverted, sick, twisted industry, these gatekeepers do hold access to certain levels, you know? Bro, I've had gatekeepers in the music industry who have literally tried to hold a record deal behind their back and let me know, like, look, if you're a part of this homosexual act that I'm trying to take part in, you hear me? Yeah, come on, this door open real quick for you. Like, I got a song where I've talked about that before called The Devil's Playground. Like, this is real, dog. And the only way that type of stuff can work on you is if you let them have all the leverage to where you want what's behind that gate that bad. So that's a real thing. You also got people who, this is a different type of gatekeeper. The gatekeepers who will say, hey, you making too much righteous noise right now. If you just tone that righteousness down a little bit, then we'll allow you into these doors. But
okay, that's under the illusion that they have all the power over you, but they only accumulate the power over you if you give it to them, if you succumb, if you take anything from them. I heard KB say today, he said something to the, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to the effect that if you do something for him, you done did it more for you, because he don't like owing nobody. He don't want to have to depend on nobody for nothing. And he does not want to put himself in a position to have anybody hold anything over his head. And I want to correlate that to what D1 just said, that if you agree to their terms and you accept any of their offers, you just gave them leverage. You have to refuse, rebuke, and move independently, which requires faith. It requires belief in yourself. It requires knowledge of self and of God's word in order for you to be in that spectrum of evil doing and still stay righteous. And that's why this young man has so much of my respect, because you can see it, you can hear it in his voice, and he says it with dignity and with integrity. And that's at the end of the day, once you lose that, you've lost your soul. Hey, Juicy Fruit, thank you for coming in. Salute to you. Hey, pretty lady. So, yes, this to me was like, okay, there has to be balance and a yin and a yang in everything. And this is the yang, in my opinion. And he's not alone, but he's the one making a lot of noise right now because, and now I understand why, because I can listen to this young man. And if he doesn't sound like he is feared, that he has fear of any kind, he sounds faith-filled. But even if he does have any type of fear, you're not going to know it. You're not going to know it. And if we don't see it, then the powers that be aren't going to see it. Right? He's going to display whatever God moves him to display. And that's how you can identify God's chosen, in my opinion.
But you got to tone that down. You got to become a little more vanilla. You heard me? A little more lukewarm, a little more bland, and you'll fit in with us more. So that's the slick gatekeeping. It ain't telling you, it ain't telling you to all the way, bend over or open your mouth or something like that. It ain't that. But it's telling you, like, dim your light. And what ends up happening is you got so many people that's like, well, that's not that bad. They're not asking me to do nothing super crazy. I just got to dim my light. That's the scariest kind right there. Because a lot of people will be like, wait, I just got to turn it from level 10 to level 5? Man, bet. I could do that, bro. I bet. Now I get accepted? Cool. Next thing you know, you got a whole industry, brother, that's lukewarm. Whole industry lukewarm. So then when somebody that's on fire come along, they looking at it like, whoa, you crazy. Hold on. You shining too bright. Hold on. Chill out, man. You doing the most. You messing up. Man.
That is right on the money. Yes, Bolo, the description is in there's actually there's a full video of this, and I think this is a clip out of that full video. So they chopped it up, but then they have a full video, and it's called The Art of Dialogue. It's the podcast, but he actually has been doing a lot of interviews and speaking a lot on different podcasts and giving different perspectives. He's actually, let me tell you something else that's been very impressive to me. He's actually been, now he's a professor at Harvard, and he teaches exactly what he speaks. So for people that actually acknowledge accolades, I think this is phenomenal, because Harvard needs somebody like him in order to be able to connect with his generation and make the world relatable to what he's got going on, what his profession, what he has spent his life's work accomplishing and building. And that's what he's been doing, because he'll tell you during this interview that this has been his life's work. He knew from a young child that this is what he wanted to do. And you can just tell he's on purpose.
Man, stop, man.
Crazy, man. So I want to backtrack, right? Because I mean, yeah, we definitely got to backtrack, man. So you saying that somebody came up to you personally trying to get you involved into, some homosexual activity?
Me personally, I definitely dealt with that, brother. Like I said, I didn't rap about it and everything. So I didn't want the deal that bad. Yeah.
So how did they react when you turned it down? Was they acting funny or?
Yeah. Well, you got that moment of truth. When you realize what's happening, you got that moment of truth where you're like, oh, shoot. Okay, what am I going to do? And that's not the first time in my life where I've had a moment of truth where I knew, like, my action right now can change the course of my entire life, So I knew what time of day it was, and I wasn't getting down with it. So when I was like, nah, like I'm good, This was at a music video shoot. So when I was like, nah, I'm cool, for the rest of the day, it was like, oh, no more attention from this person. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, this person ain't really willing to meet with you or talk to you or even like further the idea of talking about working with you. So once you see that you're getting that cold shoulder, or once I seen that I was getting that cold shoulder, I was like, well, I won't be getting signed today. You hear me? And you got to keep it moving. But man, it feel good, man. It feel good to be able to speak about that and be able to speak like to say like, oh, I preserved my manhood. Like it feel good. It feel real good. Like
Yes. And when he said that, that reminded me of KB, when he always talks about being able to stomp like a grown man through these streets. And you got your head held high. You got your integrity. You got your manhood. You haven't sold anything to the point where you have to answer to other people. You can speak the way that God designed you and molded you without feeling like you got to pay man retribution because you done stepped over somebody's guidelines, right? So Miss Juicy Fruit says he is definitely fighting against these spirits and demons in the industry. But you know what, Miss Juicy Fruit, you know what I see? And I'm sure it may not all be always this way, or it may not have been always this way, but I see a sense of peace over this brother's spirit and his face. And he speaks on, so Joe Budden actually had some derogatory things to say on his podcast about D1. And that's in another clip, but you ought to hear his response. Actually, I might pull that up and show it to you. But that to me solidified his response. He didn't fight fire with fire. He fought fire and doused it with love for that brother. And he spoke highly of that brother in spite of what Joe Budden had to say to him. And to me, that is real manhood. That's real maturity. And that's godlike. That is spiritual. Absolutely, Liza Jean. Absolutely. So let me see. Is there any? Yes, there's a couple more excerpts out of this clip that I definitely want to touch on, because he starts talking about God and his power.
Saying their feelings, like was they trying to block you from doing stuff like, yo, we're not gonna allow him to do this, or you know, we're not gonna put him on this platform, he's not gonna host this. Like, what happened, yo?
I got you. You're asking me, is blackballing a real thing?
Yeah.
Yes, blackballing is a real thing. Some people in this industry definitely get mad enough at you if you have bruised their ego, or if you have shown them that you don't need their approval to be successful, then they will definitely do what they can to try to blackball you. Yes, I don't doubt that people have attempted to blackball me. Absolutely. But if you don't feed me, if you don't provide my blessings to me, then you can't starve me. You can't deny my blessings to me.
If you don't feed me, you can't starve me. Period. If you don't give it to me, you don't provide it to me, then you can't take it from me. Piggybacking again off of, if I don't allow you to give me anything and I don't take anything from you, then we have no attachments. That's going to probably make you pretty angry and frustrated, and it won't be the end, but then you don't have the power over me if I took nothing from you. Yes, absolutely. I just had to stop it on there because, listen, he said it, period, point blank. Period, point blank.
And once I truly doubled down on knowing that like God holds all the keys to whatever's meant for D1, that's when I really started just moving with a level of boldness that's like, yeah, I'm standing on this, you heard me? And you might try to have a vendetta against me or whatever, but I guarantee I'm going to exceed anything that you could have did for me. And then I'm going to look down at you. And you're going to be like, oh, shoot, how you got up there? Because that's the only one I submit to is up there. You heard me?
You know what? Look, I'm ready to drop my mic, but it's mounted to my desk. I'm ready to drop it. Come on now. That's what he say. I'm looking up is all about faith. Yes. Natural law. Liza Jean, natural and God's law. Absolutely. Bolo, he gave me chills. I'm telling you. I just it rejuvenated and revitalized my hope in the younger generations, because for so long, most of the time what we're shown and what's displayed before us is the negativity, things that are fear based, things that are carnal, things that are low vibrational. And whenever I get like that, I seek God's word. I seek like minds, God-like people, high spirits. I also read, I pray, I meditate, I speak positive affirmations, which are extremely powerful. And when they talk about low vibration and high vibration, there is such a stark difference between the two that I understand where he's coming from, but it just reignites my faith and my hope in the younger generation, because what we're shown is it looks so desolate. It looks so bleak. And at the end of the day, nothing can happen without God's permission. Yes, Liza Jean, it's all about faith. And that's what he said. He said, once he realized that God had him, he started to move with a boldness. And that's where I was talking about that fearlessness comes from. Because when you know that God got your back, you have nothing to fear. Right? So to me, that was extremely powerful. I think we're almost done here. One more clip.
I know they got people that's trying to blackball me right now. Any way, shape, or form that they feel like they could. I absolutely know that, bro. I know it. And for a long time, it's been that way. It's been that way for over a decade. There was somebody in New Orleans who I knew for a fact, who worked in the industry, who was trying to blackball me because I wouldn't sign a deal with them. You know, right when they saw that I was about to get signed to a major label, try to blackball me, talk down to me, told me, oh, you ain't gonna never get to this certain level because you trying to do things your own way. Like, man, I done been through all this stuff. And, you know, you got to learn how to respond with love, and not just love Jesus, but you got to learn how to love Judas as well.
Ooh, and that he exemplified that I'm going to bring that video up. He exemplified that by talking about Joe Budden, because Joe Budden could be easily construed as his Judas. And he showed and displayed genuine love and forgiveness for that brother, even though he didn't ask for it. And so he exemplifies not just someone that talks the talk, but walks the walk as well.
People who don't rock with you, you know, you got to be like, that's how dope and mature I am. I'm gonna still learn how to love you, but not allow you to, you know, be a person that's in my way.
Wow. Yes. So, I did want to show that. Let me just see real quick if I can pull up. And something told me to leave that video up there. Okay. Give me just a second. And I'll be right back. Fair
You're known
use.
for
Fair
critiquing
use,
rappers and calling
YouTube.
out rappers. How you feel about Joe Budden giving you a warning that, you know, you might get hurt one day if you keep, you know, calling out rappers?
Yeah, you know, I love Joe Budden. I love Joe Budden. I was a fan of Joe Budden's music when he was still doing music. His opinions on what I'm doing let me know that he's not on the same mission I'm on. So I don't expect him to understand a brother like me. You know, clearly, like that just lets me know that I'm in the game to change the game. And, you know, sometimes you got people who are in the game to simply just be in it and see how much that they can benefit from the game as is. You know, if I wasn't in this culture to make it better, then I'll be wasting the opportunity that God gave me to be in this game, to have influence, to see a whole bunch of stuff that ain't right. Like, come on, man. No, we not crazy, bro. We shouldn't be glorifying murder. We shouldn't be glorifying drug dealing. We shouldn't be glorifying the disrespect of our women. Like, we got to speak up about this and be the change that we want to see, you know? So me doing that is simply saying like, yeah, bro, you know, not everybody is supposed to agree with it. If everybody agrees with me, then I'm not doing something right, bro. And that really, you know, that really stuck out to me is I'm not always seeking to be liked by everybody, because not everybody is going to like a person that's a change agent. Like you just not, you know? So I'll also say this in regards to the stuff that I've heard Joe Budden say about me. I know that he didn't know my background, and he doesn't know that this has been my entire life's work, you know, is being a change agent in hip hop from day one, and being an educator, and now being a college professor, and all of my music being consistently about pushing the bar and empowering us while entertaining us. So, you know, that type of stuff tripped me out. And also, I think that the root of what he was saying was that he didn't disagree with my message, but he disagreed with how I put the message out there. He said, you know, you're not supposed to ever name anybody's names. But my brother, all of hip hop is simply like, we've been doing this interview and already you asked me about 3 or 4 different people in hip hop. You know, like names get named, yo. And just because you're naming somebody's name and it's saying like, hey, I mentioned, you know, someone's name to prove a point of an example I'm making, that doesn't mean that you hate that person, and that doesn't mean that you don't have a lot in common with that person. So trying to tell me how to do, you know, what it is that I'm doing is just something where I respect people trying to have an opinion on that stuff, but I also know that I don't have to listen to everybody's opinion, especially if we're not on the same mission. So,
Ooh, okay. So, listen, I'm gonna drop the link if anybody wants to come up. I think there's been enough information and enough different vantage points and perspective for some dialogue. So if anybody is interested, I'm going to go ahead and drop this link. I would love to chop it up or to listen to anybody's perspective on your take on today's live and the information that has been delivered. And Liza Jean, I totally agree with you. Bolo is doing his thing. He is doing the damn thing in these YouTube streets, and he is doing it with integrity, and he's doing it with dignity and with consistency, and he's showing everybody how it should be done. And with that we're going to use as an introduction to Bolo coming to the stage. Salute, bro. Salute.
What's up, Mr. Kiwi?
Hey.
How you doing?
All is well. How about you?
I'm good. You should still put up the overlay just in case. Because
Okay.
people be you know, making troll names, taking pictures, using the same pictures. You know how it is.
You're absolutely right.
So I mean, I do it. I'm not those 3 attempts on my channel. You know, I learned my lesson. Everybody that comes up, I'm gonna put up the overlay. When I hear you and you talk, then I say, oh, that's the person. It's confirmed. I don't have to necessarily see you visually behind. You know, when you come up in the backstage, maybe I should do that, but you know, for some people, it's not really necessary. I just put up the overlay just to make sure it's there. So I give you that advice because I don't want to come in for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I'm gonna need that advice. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let me ask you a question real quick before you get started. How's the volume? How's the
Your volume is perfect. I don't know what you did to your microphone, but it's perfect.
Okay. I
I'm
bought a
hearing you loud and
microphone.
clear.
Okay. I took your advice and I bought one, but I just wanted to ask you if you noticed the difference.
Oh yeah, I should have mentioned it. Yeah, you're definitely sounding like you're supposed to. We're hearing that beautiful laugh even clearer. Every time you laugh, I laugh, man. God damn.
Okay. Well, thank you. All right. All right. So what you got on the topic? What do you think about? I don't know when you came in. I don't
Hmm.
think it was quite at the beginning, but I think it was far enough to where
Yeah.
you gained some type of value or you've
Oh
learned,
yes, most
some
definitely.
gems.
From the moment I came in, I said, "Man, Mr. Keep me on it again. This is another one, like DJ Khaled. You know what I'm saying?" But this particular topic is very interesting because I remember. I don't know if you watched the movie The Hulk. There was a scene on one of those movies where he was on a school rampaging, and then he jumped in the field, and then two army vehicles came on one side and the next, and the Hertz, there was a machine that was emitting these waves, and when they turn it up to a certain frequency, it's almost like it was moving his molecular structure, and it
Yes.
was like he couldn't move. I think what you're talking about is kind of like the same thing like that. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because this is scientific facts. Like if you go and do the research on this type of stuff, how those things at certain hertz affect your body, affect your brain, everything. It's not no conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? So this is a real topic right now. Like everybody needs to get this. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do a reaction and try and get the people, to come over your side and come check it out. But this dude that you put up, talking about the rap game and everything. Yeah, I want to focus more on him in my reaction. I'll let the people look at the first part, but that dude, man, I gotta react to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He talking some ish. He
Yes, he
talking some ish.
is. And that's just a snippet I mean, everything. He's one of those people, in my opinion, where you just kind of hang on to every word that he says because he's extremely intentional and he understands that words have power. And that's his craft. So he's a wordologist. He's
Mm,
supposed to be good at what he does, but using it in the right context and using it with the right spirit, it
right.
shines through everything. Isn't it something how you can do the same thing, but it's like night and day when you do it for good or when you do it for evil?
Yes. Yes. Because the intention is very important. But you know what I wanted to say though about this young man and people like him, people that get the message and hang on to the words. Keep the message. If the messenger ever diverts away from his message, don't let that make you lose the message. Whatever the message did for you, if it motivated you, if it gave you a fire inside to move and act, the message did what it was supposed to do. So don't focus so much on the messenger because we're all human beings and that individual might change one day. But not because he changed doesn't mean that the message that he gave to you wasn't supposed to be given to you, for one. And also it doesn't mean that it's not true. You know what I'm saying? They just faltered at some point. You know what I'm saying? It happens. We're human beings.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I kind of relate that to, like, I've been, when I go into other chats and there's the drama and there's the entertainment aspect of the sector or whatever, the viewership is high. I don't care how new your page is, how long you've been, how entertaining you are, how comical you are. It's still pretty high compared to just, somebody like myself that just kind of is doing a reaction page to relevant topics and not really with the what the rest of most of the sector is on, right? And so I see how, like today I was watching Damn D's live, and how frustrated and irritated Blister T was, right? And that was a very, very small part of me that could relate to her frustration. I'm not frustrated, but I'm aware that, and it goes with the territory. But one thing that God has really dealt with me on and allowed me to make my peace on is that it's going to reach who it's supposed to reach. As long as I stay obedient and I stay consistent and I stay on the message that He is orchestrating for me to deliver, that this is what I am supposed to be doing. And until I am told differently, this is what I will be doing. And I'm not concerned so much about all of the other things that come with that, like you just stated, outside of the message.
Remember did I tell you about the Jamaican blogger, artist, creative content creator? I mean, artist wise, like they do stuff for YouTube. They record like skits that's like an hour and a half long of just voices, different people having conversations, and one or two people are doing the voices. You know what I'm saying? They're called Twin of Twins.
Okay,
One of the brothers, I remember watching a video of him. You remember when he only had 20 subs? 20 subs. And he was doing his lives at some point and have like 10 people in the chat. But you know what? He didn't, let that get him down. He focused on the message. He focused on being more creative by delivering the message. And over time, where he's at right now, man, he's almost at 100,000 subs. He has some of the best interviews here in Jamaica, like the highest viewed interviews in the entertainment industry when he goes to other platforms. So he realizes, he's built a genuine name for himself with his podcast and his ideas and stuff like that. The point of the matter is, it takes time when you're going to build something great.
Yes.
There's certain crops you plant, when you're farming, and in 3 weeks you got them. But that plant that takes like a year to grow is a different type of nutrition in that. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of feed, a lot of water, a lot of sunshine, for it to grow to maturity. So, what you're doing is kind of like that. What I'm doing is kind of like that in some sense. And I know that. So, I'm a rock with people like you and always promote people like you because the message is what's important. Anytime I see you drop them gems, I'm like, yo, go over to Mr. Kimi, man. Hey, yo, y'all got to check her out, man. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand the message is what's important. It's not really about me. It's about the message. You know what I mean? So I'm not afraid to share or use the platform and share with the real ones. You know what I mean? I'm definitely gonna do a video this morning when I go home about this and Blister T as well. I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna do a part reaction off Damn D's video.
Well, it all ties in together, I think.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, because when you look at Miss Blister T's behavior and the way how she's moving and the seeds she's planting in this field of entertainment, right? And you look at a young man that's way younger than her. Look at the behavior.
Yes,
it's so vastly different. If Blister T was in the position of that young man, she would have sold out to the devil a long time ago.
Yep. And you can bully people into doing what you want them to do.
Exactly.
You can't use fear tactics and think that everybody is going to bite. Some people are going to be looking at you like, what are you doing? You too old to be thinking that that's going to work in your favor when it's all said and done.
Talk about a narcissist. My God.
Sheesh.
How do you try to control one where people are going, and two, you be watching people in the chats the way they type? You got to be more careful.
Well, but the thing that got me was when I don't know, when I don't want to call her name, when Love, called,
Yeah.
and she had to turn the phone around.
What you mean, bro? We had a connection, bro. What do you mean, bro? Thought we had a connection, bro. Thought we had a connection. Shout out to True Estates.
Shout out to True Essence. I'm just saying, it's like, when do you learn? I mean, you've gotten to this age either by God's grace or something else, but it's like you kind of too old to be still doing things that don't work.
Yeah, that part. Like where have you learned any life lessons? And it's you know what kills me? There's this lady that calls her and be talking about God and everything. I'm like, yo, this is a church sister. And I'm like, yo, you got to be like, what? Are you serious? Like, you genuinely believe that this woman is a good woman? Like a good person? And everybody else is just the devil out here in these YouTube streets? What YouTube has she been watching? I mean, yo, bro. I can't, man. It's just too much. It kills me, yo. It really kills me, bro. I swear to God.
There's a lot going on. It got to be more careful.
I don't know what the hell going on with these people, yo. What is in the water that they're drinking?
Oh God! It make me want to be dehydrated if it's in the water. Good gracious! It made me eat fruit. That's where I get my H3O2 from. Bump water. Ugh. But it's just this doing this live stream and doing research.
Right.
It resonated. Actually kind of going from, because the first video that I showed, it showed 50 Cent, and he totally admitted that he did not, the message that he displayed in his music had nothing to do with his actual lifestyle. He don't smoke.
Oh yeah, he was very honest about that.
Yes.
He was not. From the jump, he's like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't be doing that excess stuff. I exercise, I go to the gym, But this is the imagery that's portrayed. But in terms of my wealth, yeah, I do be having that type of wealth. But in terms of the health side of it, no. So he's kind of different. He's very honest about it.
Yeah, but it doesn't excuse the fact that he still pushed out that like you said, that type of imagery or that content out to the masses, when in essence that's not your walk. And in the interview or the clip that I showed, he kind of justified him not being honest about that. He might be forthright about it now. But in the interview, he talked about, like, she asked him, she said, well, did you put in the champagne bottles, did you put ginger ale in there? He said, yeah, eventually I poured the champagne out and put the ginger, but it started out with champagne in it. And then she said, well, did you ever get high? And he said, yeah, I was always high. I just didn't smoke. I was just around people that smoked.
Yeah. I remember him saying that. That's a fact. He said, yo, I don't smoke, but I be around so many people that smoke, I be getting high.
Yes. So, it's like, okay, I appreciate at least you didn't just outright lie about it. But are we being held accountable?
Yeah.
Are we taking any accountability for the messages that were being put out? Because this stuff is affecting people's lives.
Can you imagine if you never admitted that?
Yeah. Future did the same thing.
Yeah, but they be talking about popping pills and they never pop no pills.
Bingo. Bingo.
That's one of the worst things. You're talking about those hard drugs. I
There's a
mean,
clip.
alcohol is one thing, but hard drugs. Come on, man.
Well,
That's
there's
crazy.
a clip that I didn't show in that video as well with Future, but there
Mm,
was an upcoming rapper that he actually did a song with that sold. He stated he sold Percocets in school.
right.
Probably nobody would buy them until Future came out with the song called Percocets,
Damn.
and he couldn't keep them in stock. And
Damn.
when he finally got connected with Future, he told Future, he said, yo, he said, you turned me out. That song, he said, I
Pause.
ended
Pause.
up hooked
He
on
did what?
perks. There
He
was
did
so
what?
many people that I dealt to that got hooked on perks. And Future said he felt kind of bad.
Hey, Mr. Kimi, pause. He turned him out. Pause. Hey, yo.
Oh, pause.
Hey, yo.
You got me covered. Look, I be in such a flow. My brain don't be on all of that. I think from a woman's perspective. I'll be
Hey,
thinking, it's like
yo.
everything we say now, we have to say pause in order for the heterosexual connotation to be exemplified. We have to come on now. Give me some grace. I'm a
Hey,
female, for
listen
God's
to me.
sake.
Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. For me, it's all jokes. It's all fun and games. I'm not.
I
This is
know.
you gotta have those. You gotta have those moments when you're having serious conversation where you kind of mix it up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no,
Yo,
you say you're not a roaster, but you are funny. You
yo,
are
listen, man.
really
I love
funny.
comedians. I learn from comedians. Yo, listen. You listen to these dudes, man, and the way they be doing things. I mean, I'm not at their level, never will be. But you pick things up, man. The way how they, you know what I'm saying? They be quick with it. Yo, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Well, you can find that connotation in everything a man says. Or
Oh yeah,
woman,
it's
for
easy.
that
It's
matter.
easy.
Yeah, we can apply all that shit to sex.
Yep.
But no, I totally get it. You know, it's from a comedy perspective. But all jokes put aside, though, it's like with all of the craziness going on in this sector, that's relevant. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
separate yourself because you got men stalking men on this app. That is
What
crazy.
is?
Flying drones over people's houses, doing
Listen.
12-hour lives on a man.
Listen.
I don't know how KB. I know that bothers him because he speaks on it, but we just don't know how deep that. Because he ain't. It don't seem like he's ever had that kind of shit to deal with before.
But let's be honest. When he's not really dealing with it in terms of it's not
Right.
affecting his real life.
Right.
It's just the internet. So, you know, I think he just has fun. He has fun with it. Like we in the chat sometimes we be like, yo, why is this dude allowing this dude up here? This nigga corny as hell. And then when you think about it, he's literally exposing the nigga, using him for content. And then somebody kicks him down for a 50. Listen, man, that's great content creating right there. Hey, salute to you. I'll be looking at you like, yeah, man, I see what you're doing right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So I got, I don't think he really takes these people very seriously. I don't think he's logging off and going talking about this nigga or that person. I don't think he's doing that. I really
But
don't.
I do think that he is having to be on his P's and Q's because his address has been doxed on the internet.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
had drones flown over his house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Always in traffic and moving.
Mhm.
So he's
Mhm.
I can tell that he's super alert
Yeah.
of his
Yeah.
surroundings, and
Mhm.
you can't tell me that Sugar Booty hasn't had some type of an effect on that, because once you fly a drone over my house, we're gonna have some problems.
See, it's not just about him why he's got to be on alert. He got his kids. So as a man, you already know, like, contingencies are going to be in place. Hey, F around if you want to. You heard what he said? You're going to be met with brute force. Don't mess around, my guy. Really, don't. I mean, you talk about the kids right now. Nah, we ain't playing. So, yeah, that part. And it is what it is.
That's
You know,
it.
it's well documented that you did all these things. Now, if you approach, if I made a formal report to the police station about you flying drones over my place and harassing me on the internet, and then you pull up, or anybody that's associated with you pulls up in my space, in my property, bruh, that's a death sentence, my brother.
It's
What
gonna
you
be
mean?
on like
You know
popcorn.
what I'm saying? Like, what you mean? I got my kids. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So don't play around like that, man. You can play all these internet games, but don't play around like that.
that's
It's not
right.
good.
Facts. Yeah,
You
you
know,
crossing
in
some
real life though.
boundaries on that note.
Yeah.
For real. So you
You
going
know,
live tonight, Bolo?
yeah, you know, when I go in, maybe I don't know what time I'm going in, but when I get off here, I'm gonna make a thumbnail, schedule the live maybe for 4:30 or 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? So when I get in, I'm gonna do what I do. People be saying I should do it in the day, but they don't understand. Like,
Their
so I'm on the
schedule. You
road.
doing
It's
exactly what
the
works for you.
timing,
Yes.
you know. And then when you consider how much of our people on this side is going live, like KB will go live and that shit will go crazy for 6-7 hours.
Then
You
D
know,
go right after that.
it don't even make no sense. I put out no content during that time. Like, nobody's gonna come over. You know
Nope.
what I'm
Then you
saying?
got
They gotta
double
watch the
speaks.
replay or something.
Yeah.
Then you got double speaks.
Yep.
Double speaks is kind of off his real timing because the whole thing that's going on with the snowstorms, and the other day he took some trips. You know what I'm saying? You know, family stuff. And then Damn D, you could look for him around 12. You know what I'm saying? If he's doing 2-3 lives, you could look for him around 10, 11, around that time. So between those 4 hours, that's him. You got Kevlo that's going crazy in these YouTube streets.
Kevlo is
Yo,
on one.
yo, Kevlo is a fool, man.
Should have left his brother alone.
Man, listen, if you don't catch those lives live, you already know. Delete.
He taking them down. That's
Taking them
right.
down, bro. Leave Kevlo alone, man. Listen, I don't know nobody. I don't know a lot of people that got like 40 brothers. I'm just saying. Do you know how many
With that
cousins?
whole family. You
Do you know how
crazy if
many
you wanna
cousins that is? Like,
man.
do you know how many cousins that is? Man, leave these people alone, man.
All that
God,
testosterone flowing. They got the whole South sewed up.
man, listen. What? Leave them alone, man. Then you got TJ. TJ did a great live last night. I mean, he went live when I was about to go live. And I saw him. I said, man, I'm about to watch this shit while I'm doing on the OBS.
He's
trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
TJ was preaching the goddamn gospel last night, man. Yo, I'm telling you, like, I ain't even playing. That dude didn't curse. That dude was talking the goddamn gospel. He was preaching the word.
Is that live still up?
Yeah, he got it up still.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, man. TJ was talking some real shit, just some real life, like real life though. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm there listening to that, doing what I'm doing. You know, and so there's always a time like even Mob be going live, you know what I'm saying, dropping some good content. I love the reaction that he did to that interview between what's his name? Shay and Country Wayne. Yeah, that was a great interview. I really wanna dive into the comedians and do some more, you know, reaction to some comedy skits, you know, because I love comedy. So if you want to be in the chat dying with laughter, you can watch me react to some comedy. Oh my God. I was reacting to some comedy this morning, man. You should have seen the chat. Yo, they was dying. SJ said, nah, Bolo, you on one this morning. I said, what? I'm not. This is a natural raw reaction right now. I ain't even playing. Are you kidding me? Yo.
That was hilarious with the comedian, the female comedian.
Yeah, talk about it.
No, that was, and then the raw reactions are the best.
Yes, because it's authentic.
It's authentic.
And people will know the energy.
Mm-hmm.
They will know the energy. And energy is everything. When energy is just everything with everything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you're broadcasting, whether you in front of somebody talking to them in real life, the energy is everything. So if you're being authentic, it's the best energy.
I agree.
Mhm.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, but I listen with, like you said, with all of the newer content creators, and then when you got your own content, you're trying to regulate and be somewhat consistent on that. That takes away some of the watch time as well. So you have to go through the replays.
Mhm.
It take me a couple days just to catch up.
Mr. Kimi, listen to me. I don't know if you did it already, but I need you to make a playlist and add every live that you have to the playlist. Once you do a live, add it to the playlist. So, like for a person like me that I want to support you, I could just click on the playlist and it plays all the lives, so you get the watch time hours. That's what I do.
All
I
right.
put all my lives in a playlist. It's called live stream. I put all my shorts in the playlist. It's called shorts. So if you want to just help me with watch time hours, it's easy. Click on one of those, let it play on 2.0. It runs through quickly. You can listen while you're cleaning the house, whatever speed you want to listen at, and it will go through the whole entire day. I'm over 4,000 watch time hours now. All I need right now is the subs. So that's what I'm working on.
And you don't need all of those. It's the 1,000 subs or the 10 million views on shorts. It's not both. It's one or the other.
Well, I've got the 4,000 watch hours.
You just need the subs.
I just need the subs now.
Mm-hmm. And you're almost there. So you got probably another few days for the way you put out content. I would say less than a week.
Well, speak it into existence, because I issued a challenge to the people that support me. I say, yo, share my page with 5 people. Between now and next week Friday, I want to go to 1,000 subs, because I want Miss Collins to come and join the panel for the first time and break the internet.
Amen.
Because she promised me that when I reach 1,000 subs, she's gonna come up, and she's a lady of her word. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, she is.
Yep, I know she's gonna come up.
And that's gonna be like with True Essence.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because she's not afraid of speaking her mind in the chat, but nobody has never heard her voice before. And yeah, that's gonna be something. I could tell them that. That's gonna be something.
Yeah. Now we can't get True Essence off a panel.
Yo, has she been on any other panels?
No, she been trying. Well, she's been one. She said she was gonna go on Damn D's and KB. She's been on KB's, so Damn D. I just has to give her the invite.
Wait, she been on KB's panel?
Yeah, she was on KB's panel. Was it yesterday? She was calling Will up for some smoke.
Hold up. How I missed that? What live was that? Nah, now I gotta react to that tonight.
Yesterday morning. Was it
yesterday morning?
So technically we're on Friday, so I want to say.
What was the title? Find the title for me. Yo, send me the link.
Yeah, I have to find it. It was either Wednesday. My days are mixed up because I haven't had much sleep, but it was in the morning because I was driving.
Man, I don't need the timestamp. I just need the link.
Yeah,
I'll find the timestamp. Somebody, hit me, email me. Mr. Kimi, you gotta send me the link now. I'm gonna definitely gotta react to that.
I will. It's only 2. He's only done 2 lives since I heard her on there. But she hit the link on his page, and she called Will up for some smoke.
Oh shit. Yeah, because Will didn't want to come up. Nah, I won't say he didn't want to come up. I think he could not come up at that point when she was up there on my thing. I say, yo, Will, True Essence want you to come up here. She got smoke. and he didn't. He said, "Nah, I can't do it right now." I said, "All right."
Yeah. But
Send me
now
that.
he had me cracking up. He wasn't up there long. But when he did get up there, I'm gonna let you hear it for yourself. People in the chat were dying laughing. He made this particular joke, and then he hopped off, and I was like, "Ooh, Will ought to be ashamed of himself."
Oh shit!
He get in his bag. I'm not messing with Will. I've
No,
seen him.
Will is a
And,
fool.
no,
All
he's
these brothers,
hilarious.
everybody, TJ, KB, Damn D, Will, Kevlo, Nacho. These niggas is fools. You heard me?
I'm telling you, and they don't discriminate. They roast everybody.
Everybody, yo, I swear to God.
Cortez too. Cortez.
Oh my God, he's slick with it. He's slick. I had to time him out. I blocked him. Shit, accidentally.
I remember.
He got me so hot. I said,
out.
"Let me get you out of 86K this month." Yo, I just gave him like a minute or something.
That's it.
Oh my God, I swear to God, man, those boys are fools.
I love it. I love everybody's energy. I love the direction that the sector, is diversifying into. Now we got a little bit of everything going on. We got, it's like everybody is considerate and cohesive in the content and the times and just, shouting each other out, dropping links. I hope it stays. This is what it reminds me of when he first hit YouTube and went viral. And so I think it's truly helped 100-fold. And I think, who was it? It was either Kev, I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody, one of his relatives, that said, "Yo, you don't talk about them people. You do your content on the celebrity gossip or the celebrity, news, and you let the rest of the sector deal with that foolishness."
Right.
I think since he's choked them out, he's able to focus. It's going to benefit his brand better.
Oh my God! Wait, you'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I'm already seeing he gained 1,000 subs since he's done that.
All right.
That's right, Liza Jean.
They're gonna be left in the dirt.
And we giving them attention that very minimal, and we're moving over it. Like you said, we are moving over it. There's other stuff that's relevant that needs to be touched on and talked about, and these people are just not it. And once enough time goes by, the reliance upon KB's using his name and using him for content, they're gonna either have to get creative or they all gonna be crying like Blister T.
Hey, do you remember the time when hip hop was in a place where if you wasn't spitting some real shit, some real life changing, some high thought level type of stuff, you wasn't in the mix.
You got no play.
You got no play. That was when hip hop was conscious.
It was the best of the best.
But wait, I'm trying to show you something though. With what we're doing in this sector right now, when you're trying to change something that has been going on for a very, very long time, it takes some time.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Right? Because check this out. I got a lot of subs. Yeah, I do. I appreciate that. But the videos that I do about certain things, they don't hit the same type of viewership, like the amount of people that watch it. And it is what it is. I'm not knocking those people. It's just that it's going to take some time for me to refine the way how I deliver those types of content to where it still has that entertainment value to grab them. The titles that I put out, the thumbnails. I'm not doing like Mr. T. Man, listen, I'm looking at myself. What can I do to improve so I can grab these people's attention so they can hear me and take this information in and apply it to their real lives?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of mentality you gotta have. You can't be upset with the viewership. No, you're trying to capture their minds. So you got to be real creative in how you do that, especially if you're talking about some real ish. The fights and the gossip, that's easy to be drawn to. That's always going to be the case. So when you're talking about some real ish, you got to be 10 times as much creative to do that, so you can grab that mass of people. You know what I mean?
In
And
addition
it
to
is what
your
it is.
creativity, Bolo, you have to be willing to look at you. It starts with you. You blaming everybody for leaving you, that's narcissistic. You have to absolutely hold some accountability because you are the common denominator. If you had 300 people in your chat at one point and now you got 30, that's not everybody else. But until you are looking at your own behavior or the inability to be able to relate to your audience and connect with them without lashing out, nobody's going to stick around.
Big facts.
And that's one thing I noticed about you. None of us are perfect, but the ones that say and are acknowledge the fact that we're not perfect is it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference on how
Talk about it.
you
Talk
view.
about it.
Yeah. It and then like, okay, so it's not about the numbers, it's about the heart. Liza Jean is preaching today. I don't know why she ain't hit the link.
Yeah, she's in her bag. She
Yeah,
is in her bag. I
she
swear
in
to
her
God,
bag.
I be watching all her comments. She be in her bag tonight, for real, man. Dang.
But she been spitting. She has been spitting facts. No pressure. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not going hold anybody too much longer. I know it's late and I know Bolo be having, I know what all this thoughts are running through your head on how you gonna do this and how you gonna
Mhm.
your brain operate.
You know me very well.
Did you get your OBS functional?
I'm not there yet, but I definitely see progress. So I'm thinking,
Okay.
I'm glad, I'm grateful for that. But I'm gonna play with it some more and see, what it is. I'm gonna do some more test runs and stuff like that to see how it be working.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming up, Bolo. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and wrap this up because I gotta get up in 3 hours.
Hey, do your thing. I appreciate you, and another one, great one.
Oh, thank you. And I'm gonna do that playlist thing and because I got like 3 or 4 lives of yours I have to catch up on, and that playlist is a great suggestion. So thank you for the gems that you've dropped today.
You're
And
welcome. I appreciate you.
I'm gonna start using my overlays. So I will be doing that. Each live gets a little better, gets a little easier to navigate. So
Yeah, man, it's like math. You got the problem the first time, you might not get it right, and then you do it again. Soon you become an expert.
that's right. Loving your analogies. Love your analogies. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, babe. Well, you have a
Later.
great evening. I'm going to go ahead and close out. And
All
thank
right.
you, Polo. I appreciate your presence always. And you always add such a refreshing aspect to my lives. Thank you for your support.
Hey, you're welcome always. You got it. Salute.
All right. Salute. So, okay, Miss Liza Jean, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating and chatting. I'll check my emails probably when I get up. I don't want to switch my train of thought. I really need some rest. But thank you so very much for your presence, and I want to wish a peace and blessings night, a peace and blessed night for everybody. And if you're watching the replay again, the videos of reference in the live stream are in the description for your ability to be able to go back and you can watch the entire videos. Salute to all of the podcasters that put out great content to where I was able to actually compose a storyline and get the information out, get some valuable information out that people may or may not have been privy to prior to taking out time in their busy schedules and watching the live. So with that being said, good night to everybody. Thank you. Peace and blessings, and much love. I'll talk to y'all soon.